Hello, my name is Kelly Rawl, and I'm the coordinator for pre-kindergarten and family engagement for HEBISD. Welcome to Raising Children in a New Country. This lecture was prepared with the cooperation of BRICS, and BRICS is one of the projects of the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops. The overall goal of BRICS is to develop the eligibility of service organizations across the United States to ensure the successful development of refugees and newcomers, of children, youth, and families. For more information about BRICS, please visit www.brycs.org. All opinions described in BRICS resources are those of the staff at the Refugee Resettlement Office and do not necessarily represent those of the HEBISD. No matter why you came to the United States, voluntary migration is the most common one in our district. Newcomers may arrive with the ability to speak two or more languages, high-quality educations, a set of vocational skills, as well as access to financial resources. Refugee and immigrant families come to the United States with a wealth of parenting strengths, drawing on culture, tradition, and family experience. Like most parents in the U.S., they tend to be responsible and nurturing and have often sacrificed tremendously to provide their children with an opportunity for safety and success in this new country. At the same time, it is clear that newcomer parents often need assistance adapting to things like a new physical environment with unexpected dangers, or the loss of extended family and community support, and the ineffectiveness and sometimes illegality of traditional methods of discipline, and their children's new and often unfamiliar Americanized behavior. Unfortunately, the challenges of parenting in a new country, combined with difficult financial circumstances and the stress of family roles, can sometimes lead to newcomers' involvement with the child welfare system. Hopefully, after participating in today's session, you will have a little better idea of how to avoid the child family welfare system. On this slide, you see the number of students registered as English learners in the United States from the year 2000 to 2019. You can see that in the year 2000, in between 2000 and 2005, we had a significant jump in students registered as English learners. And then over the years between 2005 and 2019, and certainly this trend has continued, but our numbers have increased. We do want all of our English learners to know 4 things. Number 1, you are important. Number 2, what you are learning is important. Number 3, you can do it. And number 4, we will not give up on you. Today, we're going to focus on the following 5 themes: nurture, supervision and protection, structure and limits, discipline and respect, and educational participation. All of these things might be different in the United States from what you grew up with in your home country. So first of all, let's talk about sleeping and waking. Younger children usually need more sleep than teenagers. In general, younger children under the age of 5 need 10 to 12 hours of sleep a night. School-age children need 9 to 10 hours of sleep a night, and teens need 8 to 9 hours of sleep each night. However, we have come to realize more recently that teenagers actually do need more sleep than 8 to 9 hours, and therefore our secondary campuses have a later start time than our elementary schools do. The night before school, some parents and children find it helpful to lay out clothes and books they might need for the next school day. You might also pack lunches the night before. Doing all of these things helps your morning routine operate more smoothly. All girls and boys in the United States, including disabled children, are required by law to go to school. Kindergarten and pre-kindergarten and kindergarten in the state of Texas are both voluntary. They are not required. They are strongly encouraged. However, once you enroll your students in one of those grade levels, then attendance becomes required. So it's very important that students arrive at school on time every single day. Children who ride the bus to school should be at the bus stop 5 minutes before the bus is scheduled to come. If children are late or absent from school, parents should call the school to explain. Ask for an interpreter if needed. Never use a child as an interpreter. At the end of this presentation, I will share a link with you where you can actually request an interpreter from our department. Children need a healthy breakfast every day before school so they have plenty of energy to learn. Children in the United States usually eat 3 meals a day with 1 or 2 snacks during the day. A meal should include a staple like rice or potatoes or bread, as well as a protein, which is meat or beans, and then plenty of fruit and vegetables. This is what we call a balanced diet. Also, everyone needs to drink plenty of water and limit the amount of fruit juices and milk. Some children have a sensitivity to milk, so if you don't drink too much of it, then that sensitivity will not cause problems. Fruit juices tend to be full of unnecessary sugar, and sugar is the leading cause for many health problems. Children should be supervised by their family, the adults in their family, all the time. And this includes when you are going across the street. Adults should help children cross the street safely. Use crosswalks and teach your children to stop and look both ways and listen before crossing the street. Also, when your children leave the house, you need to make sure that they have the clothing they need for the weather. In this picture, this young lady is dressed appropriately for the weather. She has a coat and mittens and earmuffs and long pants. The crossing guard is dressed appropriately. She has on a heavy sweater under her safety vest, as well as a cap that covers her ears, and she's wearing gloves. However, this young man is dressed in a t-shirt and shorts and what we call sandals or flip-flops. And he is not dressed appropriately for the weather. So this could cause him to get sick and certainly to just be cold when he should be warm. He will not be comfortable. So make sure that your students are dressed appropriately for the weather when they leave the house. Now, even when you're in the car, you're responsible for your child's safety. Never, ever leave children under the age of 10 in a car alone. It doesn't matter if they're strapped into their car seat and they're asleep. In the Texas heat, temperatures within the car can rise very quickly. And this can cause heat stroke or even death. So never leave your children under the age of 10 alone in the car, even if you're just making a quick run into the store to get something that you need. Also, while you're in the car, you need to make sure that everyone is buckled up safely. Most states require people to use seatbelts when they ride in a car. Usually, people in the front seat must wear a seatbelt. However, children under the age of 4 must be in a child-sized car seat, and children between the ages of 4 and 8 must be in a booster seat. It really doesn't matter whether you're sitting in the front seat or the back seat. Everyone should be buckled up. A police officer can actually pull you over and issue a ticket or a citation when someone in your car is not buckled up properly. Now, when you're in your home, you're still responsible for your child's safety. Please put dangerous things where children cannot reach them. This includes matches, bleach, cleaning liquids, medicine, and things in the kitchen, like knives. If a child swallows something that might cause harm, call 911 immediately. Parents are expected to watch their own children and to know what their children are doing and actually where they are. Neighbors will not watch someone else's child unless they are asked and they have said yes. Child supervision guidelines are different for every state, but here are some general guidelines. Never leave children 7 and under alone. Children 8 to 10 years old, don't leave these children alone more than 90 minutes during the day or the early evening. Children ages 11 through 12 may be left alone for up to 3 hours, but not late at night. Teenagers 13 to 15 years old may be left alone, but not overnight. And young adults 16 to 17 or 18 years old may be left alone, in some cases up to 2 overnights. Children who are left alone should always know how to get in touch with parents or another responsible adult and to call 911 in case of emergency. Children should actually also be taught what constitutes an emergency, because they can get in trouble for calling 911 when there is not an emergency. Children in the U.S. usually do not start babysitting until ages 11 or 12 and may not watch young children or infants until age 15. In public places, children must also be supervised. If your child is under 8 years old, they should be supervised at all times, especially in public places. Children over the age of 8 should always ask parents' permission before going out alone or with friends. Parents should teach children not to take candy or gifts from people their families do not know, and to tell a trusted adult if anyone makes them feel uncomfortable. Warn children about the dangers of drugs, alcohol, smoking, and vaping. Children need to know that they are loved, and they need the attention and the nurturing of their adult family members. Sometimes children will even misbehave to get their parents' attention. Children are happier when parents spend time with them, including talking, listening, and having fun together. Now let's talk about discipline. Harsh physical discipline, such as slapping, hitting, beating, or shaking hard enough to leave a mark or to injure a child, is illegal in the United States. Certain people, such as teachers, doctors, and social workers, must report marks on a child that could be signs of abuse. Since any physical discipline can become harsh, and because children learn better from other methods of discipline, many people in the U.S. do not use physical discipline today. The next 3 slides will show us common discipline methods used in the United States. The first method that we're going to talk about is called a timeout. Timeouts are often used for children up to age 8 by making a regular place where a child is sent to sit alone, calm down, and think about his or her actions. Use the child's age as a guide. For example, 2 minutes for a 2-year-old, 3 minutes for a 3-year-old, and so on. Parents should explain calmly to the child how to behave correctly in the future. We also use rewards and consequences to discipline our children. Children ages 6 to 12 can be disciplined with rewards and consequences. Reward children for good behavior. For example, letting them watch a special TV program for making their bed every day, or allowing them to play with a friend if they help with the dishes. Take away something children like when they disobey their parents or don't follow the rules. For example, you might not let children play outside after school because they did not tidy up their bedroom. Privileges and limits. Teenagers can earn privileges when they obey parents' rules, and they may lose privileges when they disobey the rules. For example, teens who complete their chores, tell their parents where they are going, and come home on time can earn time on the computer, driving the car, using the phone, or being with friends. If teens do not follow the rules, parents can take away these privileges. Be clear and consistent about expected behaviors, house rules, rewards, and consequences. Consistency is going to be the key. Now let's talk about Child Protective Services, which we call CPS for short. This is an organization, it's a government organization that will sometimes be called in when there is a report of child abuse or neglect. Occasionally, a family that is reported for possible child abuse or neglect may get a visit by a caseworker from CPS or a police officer to make sure that the child is safe. There are 4 types of harm to children. Physical abuse, which is injury to a child from actions such as beating, kicking, biting, burning, shaking, or any other way of harming a child. Child neglect, abandoning or not supervising a child, not meeting a child's physical, education, or medical needs. Keep in mind that being poor does not mean that you are being neglectful. Number 3, sexual abuse. Any sexual activity between a child and an adult is illegal and is considered sexual abuse. Emotional abuse. Frequent screaming, name-calling, or rejection of a child is considered abuse. Most families are never visited by CPS. However, families that are visited by CPS should stay calm and cooperative and should make sure the worker brings an interpreter or cultural liaison to help with communication and understanding. Children should never be used as interpreters. So remember to request one from CPS if you are being visited by them. CPS will help the family learn to resolve conflicts and use effective discipline methods with their children. They may help the family get needed services in the home or at an agency. If CPS believes that it is not safe for the child to remain in the home, the child will be placed with a relative, foster family, or emergency shelter. If this happens, the parent should contact an elder or community leader and a lawyer to make sure both the family and CPS have enough information. There may be a court hearing where a judge decides whether it is safe for the child to return home. CPS will work with the family to make the home safe for the child's return. Sometimes, children threaten to call 911 when parents have not harmed them in order to get their way. Parents should know the laws and tell children that they can get in trouble for making false reports. Children should come to school every day prepared to learn. Children who have daily routines, consistent discipline, family meals, and are shown attention are happier and better able to learn. Schools expect parents to be involved in their children's education. Parents must meet with teachers 1 or more times a year In meetings with teachers or other school workers, ask for an interpreter if needed. Remember, I'm going to give you the link at the end of this session so that you can request an interpreter ahead of time. Parents may be asked to volunteer at the school or donate certain things. This is voluntary. After school, ask your children about their school day. What was the best or the worst thing about school today? What made you laugh today? Who did you play with and why did you play with them? Help them complete their homework. That doesn't mean do it for them. It just means support them and encourage them. And if you know how to help them do the homework and they don't understand the directions, you can explain the directions. Check for notices and letters sent home from the school. Supervise your children and set limits on TV, video games, and computer use, and phone use as well in this day and age. Schools and community centers often have after-school activities for children. After school, limit snacks and encourage children to eat healthy food like fruits. Do not let children eat too many cookies, chips, or candy, and limit their sodas. All of these things have unnecessary sugars that can lead to health problems later on. It is important for families to eat their meals together. Sharing at least one meal each day can help make families strong and can give time to enjoy cultural foods and traditions together. Share household chores and responsibilities. For example, everyone can help to set the table and clean up after the meals. Children often have household chores, but their job is to help their parents, not to be fully responsible. Some families reward children for completing their chores by giving them a small money allowance or by letting them do some special activity that they enjoy. Teach your children to wash their hands after playing outdoors, before meals, and after using the toilet, and to brush their teeth after eating. We all know that breast milk is best for babies. When American mothers nurse in public, they often cover themselves with a blanket or go into another room to nurse their babies. Children do best with a regular bedtime schedule. Set a bedtime routine, such as brushing teeth, putting on pajamas, reading a story, or singing before bed, and getting to sleep at the same time each night. This is a good time to share positive memories, stories, or songs from your culture with your children. Parenting in a new country can be a very challenging event. I cannot imagine having to go live in Germany or China or India or Egypt and be expected to know what the traditions and the expectations are when it comes to parenting. But let's review a few of the important ones we talked about today. It is a parent's responsibility to keep their children safe and supervised correctly at all times. Put things, dangerous things, out of the reach of children. This would include things like knives, cleaning supplies, bleach. Make sure that children do not have easy access to these items. When you get in the car, make sure that everyone is properly buckled up so that everyone can stay safe when you're driving down the road. Remember that you can use timeouts, rewards and consequences, and privileges and loss of privileges to discipline your children in the United States. And remember that families are expected to be engaged in their child's education. That might include meeting with the teacher one or more times during the school year. It might also include going to events at the school or volunteering at school. Volunteering or making donations are always optional. And if you need an interpreter when you go to the school, pay attention to the link that I give you on the next slide. You can request an interpreter from my department by using this link. Here are a few websites that you might find helpful if you're needing advice on raising your children here in the United States. Healthy Children, Healthy Choices is one of them. The Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Family and Community Health website. And then if you need more information about seatbelt safety, then you can click on the last link. My department and our contact information is listed here by language. So if you understand English, then you can contact me or any of the other people. We all speak English. If you speak Spanish, Gregorio Bustillos or Glenda Concepcion are available to assist you. If you speak Arabic, Patina Jalombo or our new Arabic Family Engagement Liaison, Layla Alamari, will be able to help you. And if you speak French, Bijou Furahaha is going to be your best contact. Anytime you need school-related interpretation assistance, please use this link right here. There it is, right here, to request an interpreter. That is https://bit.ly/heblang. When you go to that webpage, you'll be asked to complete a simple form. And then once we receive your request, someone will call you to help make arrangements to complete your request. Remember that our school department interpreters cannot be used for assistance out in the community or for instance, in court or when you're working with CPS. You will have to ask for their interpreters in those situations. Thank you very much for joining me today or for watching this video. Please remember to sign our guest book. Go to https://bit.ly/PA guestbook. GUESTBOOK. This is our family engagement website, and there's lots of helpful information there. Then we also have a Parent Academy website, and you will find many of our recorded family engagement sessions there in English, Spanish, Arabic, and French. Also, be sure to like us on Facebook. We send out helpful information all the time. Remember, if there's anything we can do for you and to help you learn how to be a successful parent in the United States, then let us know. We're here to help you. Have a great school year, and we hope to see you in Parent Academy again. Goodbye.